There we go. Just a second more for everything to sync up, and I will be ready to go here. Thank you all for your patience. It always takes me a second or two before I see the YouTube feed coming through. So again, welcome, good morning. It's Monday, January 15th, y'all. Halfway through the month already. Can you believe it? Halfway through, 15 days into the new year. I hope the new year has been good to you all. It's definitely been good to me so far. So far, so good. I also want to drop a couple of links in chat for you, but maybe Jacqueline can do that for me. Jacqueline, if you can drop the link to the website, Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. Just the website. On the website, I've redone the website for the new year. I actually did it back in January, but if you haven't checked it out recently, I encourage you to go check out Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. It's got a new look. I'm consolidating things so you can find everything you need to know about me on one website instead of lots of various places. So even if you need to get to a different website like Meetup or my membership site, you can find all of the links to do that through Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. So you should be able to go to Tarot Unicorns and Coffee, the newly redone website, and find everything you need. I'm also starting to write a couple of blog articles, so you might find that useful, helpful. Anyway, that's what we got going on there. For today, hello, welcome, good morning. Today is Monday, and this is Magical Monday Manifestations. I'm Valorie Lewis. This is a Tarot Unicorn and Coffee event. We come together and we do this every Monday morning, getting some, I like to call it guidance and spiritual advice from spirit, from our guides, from any beings that have our highest and best good in their interest, in our interests. And we do that by going to the Tarot. So I pull cards from the Tarot. This is a group card pull, which means I won't be doing individual reads if you're new, but don't worry, because no matter what questions you come with, the feedback has been, I've been doing this for 3 years now, Spirit finds its way to get its message to you. I get that message from Spirit all the time. Spirit is like, don't worry. If they're coming, we're going to talk to them. They're going to think this message is directly for them, because it is. So we do Tarot first, and then we move on to Oracle cards. Speaking of a group read, whether you're watching this on YouTube or whether you're on the live call, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and slowly and softly and gently, maybe even closing your eyes if that feels comfortable, send your request out to the universe. What is it you are seeking guidance on? What questions do you have? What advice are you looking for? Ask, ask, ask. Your deepest desires, your biggest dreams. When you put all of that out to the universe, I simply ask that I be the receiver of any messages that are relevant to you. So let's switch over to the receiving mode. I'm going to switch to receiving too. You all may also receive your own messages as I'm pulling these cards. I highly encourage that. You can't ask and receive at the same time. So let's get into the receiving mode and we'll get into pulling these cards. And the Tarot deck, so we pull Tarot cards first. The Tarot deck I'm going to is Vice Versa Tarot. This has been an old time favorite. And I don't pull from this. I haven't pulled from this in a while. There we go. So Vice Versa Tarot is a tarot deck that has images on both sides. I love it. It's a very unique deck. It gives you the traditional-ish image of the card. This one would be the Seven of Cups. It's got choices to make. And then it also gives you the, what if I was standing in this card with this individual as he was looking at these cups? What else would possibly be around? What else would he see? Oh, look, guidance. There's someone guiding him as he needs to make those choices. So that's why I really like this deck, because it shows you a different perspective of the tarot. Highly suggest this deck if it's something that interests you. Let's get these cards shuffled and see what cards come up to. This is the deck because it's got images on both sides that I kind of do like this so I don't see the cards as I'm picking them. So now I have not lost my mind. I'm just trying not to see the cards and let Spirit pick the cards. Spirit, what guidance do you have for this group today? Answers questions that can be answered. Information that will guide us along our path. That was fast, y'all. Spirit is on and popping. Spirit is like, I got answers for you. Y'all must have asked a lot of questions because the cards came just like that. First up, one of my, I don't know, I have a special place in my heart for this card for some reason. It's the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles represents challenge, which is why I don't know why I like this card so much, because I don't like pulling cards that tell me I got challenge in my life or I'm headed towards challenge. But I do like the Five of Pentacles. All of the fives throughout the tarot. The fives means challenge and opportunities. Out of all the fives, I do think I like the Pentacles the most. The Five of Pentacles, now this is why. Because when I see this card, I pulled this card a lot when I was going through some personal challenges years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was pulling this card like all the time. That's probably why I fell in love with this card. Because even though it represents challenges, it very clearly shows the opportunity. And that's what I like. In this card, I can instantly look at it and see the challenge and the opportunity simultaneously. And so it's kind of helped me try to look at life that way. I'm getting there, y'all. It's a work in progress. I'm getting there. I don't always see the opportunity, but I am always reminded of the opportunity. So the Five of Pentacles is exactly that. There is a challenge in front of you, but what is your opportunity? The traditional Five of Pentacles shows usually a couple or some individual who looks like they're down on their luck. It's poorly dressed, it's winter, and they're outside the church and they are struggling. They probably don't know where their next meal is coming from. They don't have appropriate clothing. Y'all know how cold it's been these past couple of days. Now imagine if you were stuck outside with no food and nothing appropriate on your hands, on your face, on your feet. I can't even imagine. I feel so blessed that my dealing with this weather was in and out to my car or in and out to a building. So imagine that you weren't that though. Imagine that you were outside in this cold weather and you didn't have a respite, you didn't have anywhere to go. That's what that challenge can feel like at times for us. Maybe not literally out in the cold, but we feel like we're on the outside of our life. We feel like we're on the outside of the solution. We feel like we just can't get it right. We feel like we've kind of been abandoned by spirit, by source, by family, by friends, whatever. We just can't figure out this challenge. That's where a lot of us are at various points in our life. It's part of the human experience. Doesn't have to be, but it currently is part of the human experience that we experience challenges. I know I'm talking a lot about this card, but I love this card a lot. So this card shows an individual who is challenged, but they are right outside the church, which means the opportunity is right, like literally right there, right in front of them, but they usually don't see it. Why don't they see it? Because they're so wrapped up in their problem. They're so wrapped up in the dismal look. They're so wrapped up in my mind cannot see a solution, so there must not be a solution story that they've been telling themselves. However, if they were able to seek that spiritual comfort, link up with the spirituality, they probably see answers that they cannot see from their human mind. Also, the idea that a church in most places, not all places, I think we're getting back to that though. I've seen a lot of churches that are more inclusive. A church in most places, doesn't matter who you are, what you are, if you're down on your luck, if you're destitute, you can usually go into the church, whether it's for services and to have someone pray for you or for a meal. A lot of churches have those kitchens for a meal, or whether it's just sitting inside and warming yourself up. So that idea of, it doesn't have to be a church, but the idea of you are right outside of a place that has doors open that can welcome you within. But because you are so wrapped up in your own story, you don't even see the opportunity. This individual is a little bit further along the path. This is the side that we read. This individual is a little bit further along the path. They're inside, they're warming themselves up, they have the light, but they're still not even looking at the light. So they're kind of stuck in their challenge. They're like, okay, well, it's the kind of person who goes inside the church and then literally puts their head down and says, I don't see spirit, they might help. I'm in here because somebody told me to come in here. You know, that grumbly kind of attitude. I'm in here because somebody told me to come in here. Or somebody said, if I pray, somebody said law of attraction works. So I'm going to see if law of attraction, you know, that's that kind of attitude. That's where they are. I'm just going to see. They're still bitter. They're still wrapped up in their own story, but at least they're inside. At least they can do their griping from, at least they're trying. So this is a step in the right direction. But this message from Spirit is saying, y'all don't have time for this bullshit. Lift your head up and look at the damn light. Look at the opportunities. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. I'm seeing a lot of us are taking the steps towards moving into the solution. That's amazing. But a lot of us are also still doing way too much grumbling while we look for that solution. And Spirit is saying, we don't have time for that. Y'all, come on, get with the plan. I'm showing you. 5 of Pentacles. Next up is 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands represents a completion. So if you're in this struggle, you're starting to move towards the solution. This next card makes a lot of sense. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands shows that you're carrying a heavy load, but a 10 shows that you're almost at completion. Wands shows that you're in your personal power. There's 2 different ways to read this 10 of Wands, and I'm going to go with the second one, which is not the one y'all hear from me very often, but it's a new one that Spirit's been giving me. And this is the idea that you don't need to put down your load. It's 10 of Wands. Wands means you have the personal power, the ingenuity, the inspiration, the creativity to carry this load just a little bit longer. It's a 10. You're almost there. Don't give up yet. You're almost there. Look at where he almost is. That's all. That's all. He just has to cross this field, get to that building. Almost there. And because it's 10 of Wands, if you feel as if you were burdened, overwhelmed, as if you cannot carry this load any further, it's Wands. This is Spirit, again, the 2 of these together, saying there's something you're not seeing. And that something is your own magic, because it's Wands, your own magic. Is there an inspiration that you're not following? Is there a creative idea that might make this easier that you're not pursuing because maybe somebody has told you it's not going to work, or that's a crazy idea? You're being gifted all the time to help you carry this load. You also have your own magic, your own personal talents. What are you not using that can make these last couple of steps, just a few more steps, that make it these last couple of steps a little bit easier, and then you'll be done. It's a 10. Once you get to that building, you can unburden your load. Maybe you got to start again in a couple of days, going back the other direction, but at least you're done with this phase. At least you're done with this chapter. How can you focus on the gifts and the opportunities that Spirit is giving you so that you can go ahead and complete this chapter? Because what's waiting for you? What's waiting for you when you complete the chapter? Oh, you're gonna like this one. The Emperor. The Emperor energy is waiting for you when you complete this chapter. Emperor is number 4 in the major arcana. And we have major arcana. So we had 2 minor arcana talking about what's right in front of you. Right in front of you, a lot of us are facing some kind of challenge. It doesn't have to be big, some kind of challenge. We're not seeing the opportunities and the help that's available, but we're almost through with that challenge. And when we finish that challenge, we get to sit on this throne. We get to be the Emperor. I like this card because this is the traditional Emperor. We see the Ankh, we see the power, the ball of power. It's a whole bunch of symbology in here. But then when we look behind his throne, we kind of see, where does he draw that power from? What is he doing with this? I'm going to go to the book on this to see what the book's interpretation of these symbols are behind him. But you can see already there's the sun there, there's the moon, there's some glyphs on the back of his throne. So let's go see, where does the Emperor draw his power from? Also, very interesting that if we're coming out of that struggle, we're wrapping things up, we get this Emperor card where we get to sit down and truly be the emperors of our life. And that Emperor is that earthly energy, earthly divine masculine energy that has domain over manifestations, over this physical world. That power, that authority, that confidence, divine masculine energy. So reading this card, get as much shine off of it as I can for you. The Emperor looks out upon the vista of his empire. Fair skies betoken good fortune, and high cliffs shelter the verdant valley below. From this vantage point, the emperor keeps vigilant watch over all those in his care. He draws his power from the sources symbolized on his throne, the renewing energy of the sun, the alchemical soul force of sulfur. That's what that glyph is. I didn't recognize that glyph. That glyph right there, the triangle, that's sulfur. The soul force of sulfur, and the embracing moons of the feminine power embodied by his empress. When you get this side in your reading, you bear your responsibilities well, and you can be justifiably proud of what you have accomplished. But the strictness with which you go about your duties is taking a toll on you. Not everything has to be set in stone. Leave some room for growth and change. If you are afraid to face the darker parts of yourself, you won't be able to help others with their own darkness. Interesting. It doesn't mention what that cube is or what the fire is. Maybe the cube represents a cube of sulfur. I don't know. It's very interesting. Hold on one moment. Let me see what the front of the card says. Doesn't really say. So interesting. Up to your own interpretation. Anyway, I feel like the emperor is definitely related to earth energy. So of course we have that fire energy in there as well. The fire is more about how is he manifesting and using his power. I really like this card because it's asking you to, the behind the scenes is asking you, how do you rule over your personally manifested world? Are you being too strict? Or do you have things set in stone? I could tell you right now the answer to those questions based upon this is yep. You probably got your expectations set too hard in stone, and that's why you're experiencing this challenge and not seeing the opportunity, and that's why you're feeling a little bit burdened, because your expectations are set in stone. Instead, say something like this or something better, or I don't get this is one I've used with spirit. Listen, I don't care how you get me there, just get me there because I'm tired of this. That's one that releases all expectations on how it's going to show up. Maybe don't be so flippant with spirit. I am. It works for me. So that's the emperor. What's up next? What's up next? We are definitely moving out of whatever this challenge is that collectively we might be dealing with. We're definitely moving out of this challenge because the first thing is after that 10, we're sitting on the throne. And then the next card is an ace, which means a fresh new beginning. So we're not done with everything. We're never done with everything. We've ended one chapter, excuse me. We've ended one chapter and we're immediately going in to start another one. Interesting how we end it with personal power, 10 of Wands, and we start the new one with personal power, Ace of Wands. Is this this side or the other side? I can't tell. I think this must be the other side. Yeah, this is the other side, definitely. Because the front side just shows an Ace of Wands. You've grabbed the Ace of Wands. It's time to start something new. It's time to direct your magic and your power towards your goals, towards what you want. You have this helper in the sky who's giving you the bird's eye view or the higher perspective of what the matter is at hand. But this is the side that we pulled, which is showing lightning strike in the darkness. Is that a volcano? Oh no, it's a bush. The lightning is coming down and striking that bush, and the tree is now on fire. You have so much power sometimes that you're not even aware of how strong that power is. And so sometimes, I don't know what the book's interpretation is. I'm looking for the book's interpretation. Sometimes, if you're not very aware of that power, you might set some shit on fire. You might burn some stuff down. It's okay. First of all, spirit is not going to let you do anything with your own power that cannot be corrected. Corrected is a strong word, or is not something that you can learn from. Again, are you seeing the opportunity in this situation? I want to see why the book uses this for setting this bush on fire. Maybe he's trying to keep it from setting on fire. A strongly muscled arm holds aloft a living wand, perhaps cut from the grove of trees nearby. A great bolt of lightning strikes a tree that stands alone atop a hill in the distance. The wand wielder is wearing leather wrist gauntlets, which strengthen his grasp and keep it steady. The Ace of Wands represents the gift of energy, This is an excellent time to begin a new project or find renewed momentum for an existing endeavor. You have the strength you need to see it through, and there are allies and companions of like mind ready to work with you. Seize the opportunity and expect a blast of inspiration. Ooh, I like that message. Seize the opportunity, perfect time for new projects, blast of inspiration, divine inspiration. So if this is divine inspiration, which lightning is represented by divine inspiration in the tarot, divine inspiration coming in and it's setting a tree on fire, a tree in this beautiful garden where I just pulled my magical wand from, and it's setting it on fire, what would be our human reaction? Oh no, something's gone wrong. I heard something the other day. This is all going to tie in a minute. I heard something the other day. It was from a spiritual leader that said life is meaningless. And I was like, wait, what? Life is meaningless. It's our job to come here into the physical and to apply meaning to our life, which means nothing in this life has inherent good, bad, right, wrong, up, down. Nothing. It's meaningless. We come in and we apply our meaning to it. We say, oh, that flower is very pretty. I think I would like a flower in my home because it's very pretty. Oh, I like this way that music sounds. That music is very pleasing. Oh, I like this. I don't like this. I like this. That tastes good. Don't like that. I don't want to hear that. I don't like that person. That's what we come into this world to do. We are applying our own personal meaning to the meaningless. And so sometimes it can help us if we step back and re-examine from this perspective of nothing has meaning. What meaning have I assigned this? When I saw this lightning come down and set this tree on fire, did I say, joyous day, I'm inspired? Or did I say, oh shit, something has gone wrong? If you re-examine the meaning that you have applied to the various situations to your entire life, is there perhaps something you're not seeing? Is there an opportunity? Is there a better way to look at the situations that have presented themselves to you? And then the last of the tarot cards that we pulled for today is the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, three maidens dancing, celebrating, having fun. Three represents community. It represents finding people who are your tribe, finding like-minded individuals. This is not so much a celebration as a coming together of friends, and they just enjoy each other's company so much that they're moved to joyful dance, and they're probably singing too. This is just showing the extreme joy when you find those people that you really click with, and how all three of their cups are full. Joy, fulfillment, community, coming together. Three of Cups. So maybe that spark of inspiration has something to do with getting you back into community, maybe getting you starting a community, get you involved in a community, get you out of the house hanging out with your friends, finding your tribe, any of those things. This is, I believe that this is the tie-in to that. You're going to find some type of inspiration that's going to make you feel like, oh, now would be a good time to do this. In the dead of winter, now would be a good time to dance in the meadow half naked. Hey, you do you, boo. Let's see what the book says, though. Three of Cups. Why can't I find my cups in here? We got wands. Oh, because it's calling it chalices, and I just keep moving right past it. I want to see what the book says about the Three of Chalices. From the this side, that side, by day, the ritual continues. So there was something going on at night. By day, the ritual continues. The two chalices on the ground correspond to the two maidens dancing in the meadow. The three women together represent both spiritual devotion and earthly delight. A flock of 13 doves takes flight. 13 is a number sacred to Venus, and the dove is her bird. Love is all around. Celebrate it. When you get this side in a reading, gather with your friends just for the pleasure of their company. You don't need to have a special occasion to celebrate, as friendship itself is cause for celebration. If you have a spiritual community, you will find particular happiness with those people now. You might want to go to church or temple or just rejoice together in nature. As the poet Rumi says, there are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. which means there's hundreds of ways to express your spirituality. I like that. I like the deeper meaning on these cards. I'm glad I read that one. All right, so that's it for the tarot cards. I hope you all are resonating with that, finding hope in if you found yourself in a challenging situation, finding hope. If you're not in a challenging situation, looking for that inspiration that's going to come, looking for that joy that you're going to find in community. All really good messages today. I like it. I like it. All right, now we're going to move on to Oracle cards. And the first Oracle deck that I'm going to go with is Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. Keepers of the Light. What do we need to know about our path forward? Any insight on any challenges we might be facing? Which Keeper of the Light has a message for us today? I swear I pulled her the last time we went to Keepers of the Light. Lady Portia, Divine Order. And the small print says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Lady Portia. What did that last card said something about, hold on. Now I want to go back. Spirit is like, hold up, you missed the point. What did I miss? Something about the 13 birds. Oh, 13. 13 is a number sacred to Venus, and the dove is her bird. When I heard that, I was thinking 13. Has anybody been seeing 13s recently? 13 is an angel number. This is just that message was more additionally for you. That's what I was wanting to mention. Okay, moving on. Lady Portia, Divine Order. The message is right now a call for justice is being brought into your space. Even if this means you will lose out, there really is no loss in the highest state of truth. Act from the heart, see the other person's point of view, and surrender your pride so that you are coming from a loving space. If you've made choices that weren't for the highest good, admit it. Through this honesty, you are releasing any karmic bonds or anchors of fear from your energy. Take the time to learn from this situation. And if you are involved in any legal issues, know that Lady Portia and the angels of justice are gathering around to honor everyone involved. I want to go back to the beginning. Right now is a call for justice. A call for justice is being brought into your space. Even if this means you will lose out, there really is no loss in the highest state of truth, which means it's going back to that again, that everything is meaningless. Your idea of losing really has no bearing, except that you're saying in this situation, I'm going to lose. You could have the exact same situation and say, how am I winning in this situation? I don't care if it's a legal matter. Let's just say it's a legal matter. I don't care what the judge said. I don't care what the other side said. I don't care what the ruling is. Somewhere in this entire mess that I'm in, I'm winning. Why am I winning? Because Spirit said I can always be winning. So I'm going to look at this situation again and ask myself, how am I winning? What am I winning? What am I gaining? Where is the opportunity? It's that Five of Pentacles all over again. Where is the opportunity that my human brain in this moment is not allowing me to see based on the constructs of society or whatever? There's an opportunity. There's a winning situation to every situation. And it's our job to decide whether or not we want to find it. Not our job. I'm not going to make it sound like it's your job to find the best solution to everything in your life. No, it's not. Otherwise, we wouldn't have chose to be human. But it is your job to decide if that's the path you want to take. All right. Next up, Beyond Lemuria. Beyond Lemuria. A little guidance from our interstellar / earthbound friends. For those of you that don't know, Lemurians are considered to be interstellars who came and lived here on Earth for a while. Kind of like Atlantis. Most people are familiar with Atlantis more freely, more commonly. Is that the word I'm looking for? Anyway, this deck is written by someone who had a really strong connection to the Lemurians, got channeled messages from the Lemurians, created artwork and light code from the Lemurians. What guidance today? Why did we get this energy in our reading today? What information guidance can we draw from this little book of wisdom. Little books of wisdom. That's what all these guidebooks are. Little books of wisdom. Oh, I like this one. The infinite. I like the artwork on. Look at the little scarab beetle. All of the DNA strands, kind of infinity behind her. The infinite, card number 49. Let's see what the message is. The beings in Lemuria are said to have lived for many hundreds of years. As they were only partially incarnated, their bodies were much lighter, less physically actualized, and less affected by aging. They were also aware of their infinite nature. The Lemurians were multidimensional beings and regularly traversed realms other than the physical, including the places before and after death. As we become aware that we are so much more than our physical bodies, we may experience a sense of the eternal. Thus, fear around death gives way to recognizing new beginnings. So we remember what is real and focus on what we wish for this life. Whatever we believe will happen when our body goes back to the earth, we can live to the fullest while we are here in this incarnation. You may feel like you have led many lives and expressed different faces to the world. We can experience many, many deaths and rebirths as we allow outdated parts of ourselves to fall away. So the many deaths and rebirths within our current life. When we choose to align our lives with our spirit, we may find that we experience more of these many deaths. This can be daunting, but they are fast tracking our growth to prepare us for the shining new chapter that beckons. I like that. So when we are aligned to, we come in, we're born. Our parents tell us stuff if we had parents. Our protectors, our people who are raising us tell us stuff. Our school institutions tell us stuff. Our governments tell us stuff. Our jobs and bosses tell us stuff later on. Some of us find mates and our mates tell us stuff. So we're picking up all of this stuff, right? When we get to a point to where we start uniting with our soul, with who we truly are, and that alignment causes those other things that are not in alignment with us to start to fall away. Sometimes when we start like feeling really good, I'm gonna get my life on track. I know about spirit. I'm gonna be spiritually aligned. This is great. And then all of these mini deaths start happening. Many death here, because all of the things that weren't ours to begin with, and that maybe were ours but are no longer serving us, start to rapidly fall away when we begin our spiritual alignment. And that rapid falling away is a succession of a lot of many deaths. Many, M-I-N-I. In case y'all thought I was saying many, M-A-N-Y. M-I-N-I. Many deaths, little deaths of things falling away that we no longer need. And if you are in that period of many deaths, I am sending you love and compassion and so is spirit. It's all part of you stepping into that light and living a bigger, more fulfilling life. The next deck I'm going to is the Divine Circus. Divine Circus Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. And the card I have pulled is Alice. Alice is one of my favorite characters, so it's really cool that this deck has Alice in it. Alice, number 12. Kind of looks like she's holding balloons. I don't know. Are those balloons? They kind of look translucent. Attached to her hand, I can't tell. Yep, those are balloons. Balloons of some sort. Alice in Wonderland type balloons. Card number 12. Let's see what the message is. I'm going to read the little italicized, like the keyword portion first. New worlds are calling you forth where the old rules don't apply. That sounds like it's really echoing what we just read about letting those old things fall away. It might seem strange or freeing or wild or even scary at first, but you are meant to explore these new worlds. You will gain you will gain so much from the experience. There's no need to be afraid. Let's see what the message is from this card. I think I'm going to read the whole thing. We'll see. It's a long explanation. I'm not going to read, not all of it is the explanation. This is just the explanation. Over here, some other stuff. So let's see if we can get through this. When your world becomes too small for your spirit, it can feel painful, like trying to walk about in shoes you've outgrown. If you do this for too long, you can feel crippled with pain and unable to walk at all. You have a spirit that is outgrowing the world you've known and is yearning to experience new ones. Let me also say this. You have a spirit that is outgrowing the world you have created for yourself and is yearning for you to create new ones for it to experience. The universe is responding to your spiritual need to broaden your horizons with new friends, opportunities, and communities that are or soon will become available to you. You may welcome the unfamiliar, or you may find it intimidating. You may wonder if you belong in these possibly strange new worlds, or you may feel like you've come home. No matter whether it is just another world you are meant to pass through on your life adventure, or return to a true soul family you never knew you had, there is value in this next phase of your life path. It is essential to your overall life plan and divine destiny. When Alice appears, she brings a message that it's safe to enter into new worlds, whether those worlds are of ideas, new lifestyles, social communities, or other like-minded groups, or even other places. As strange or unsettling as it might seem at first, you'll soon learn the ways of those other worlds and flourish there. Alice also indicates a time when your perception is opening up. Intuition, insight, visions, and creativity will increase and flow. And it is recommended that you value those things rather than dismiss them as imagination or fantasy. Stop calling your imagination fake, y'all. It's how we created our world. And you are being asked to create a new world, which means you really need to fill into your imagination and your creativity at this time. You are encouraged to follow that which is novel or unusual, that which seems to take you into new worlds, rather than making do with what has already been. Following those initial inspirations, like that lightning bolt from our Ace of Wands, following those initial inspirations will open doors for you and gain you entry into entirely new and exciting worlds. You are ready for the adventure, whether you know it or not. I love it. And think about all that Alice represents. Alice didn't even know she was going on an adventure. Alice was running around following a bunny rabbit, and all of a sudden she fell into a new world. Wasn't looking for it, wasn't seeking it, fell into it. Some of us are actually seeking and looking for it. So we got a little heads up on the stability. We know something new is coming. Alice didn't even know. But when she got there, she quickly learned the rules of the new world. She figured out how it worked. And she became queen of that new world, in a sense. She became ruler of this new world, in a sense, where everyone was looking up to her to lead the way, looking up to her to have the answers. And she's like, I just got here. What have y'all been doing since before I got here? But she made quick work of that. And that's what is being asked of you, to go into this new situation. Maybe you feel like you've lost your footing, like you're falling down the rabbit hole, but to keep a positive perspective and to ask yourself, how can I learn the rules of this new world that I'm creating? I'm gonna give you a clue. How can you quickly learn the new rules of the world that you are creating? You're creating it. You get to write the fucking rules. That's how you learn the rules. Take the reins. This is your chance to create life the way you want, to set the rules up the way you want, to live life the way you want. You create the rules. You say, I don't like how it's been so far. I'm ready to create something new. Okay, do that with a positive attitude. And this time make rules that you can live with. Rules sometimes look like personal boundaries, y'all. Who needs to set their personal boundaries a little bit stronger? That's a message from Spirit, not me. All right. Next up, oh, there is something I want to mention, but for the life of me, I forgot what day I put it on. Jacqueline, can you look real quick and see what day the Oracle card event is as we're talking about that? And I'll come back. I'll come back to that. Okay, so the next deck, let me show you the deck first, is Believe in Your Own Magic. As we talk about creating these new worlds, we got that Ace of Wands. How do we do that? What's a good idea for how do we believe in our own magic? And we have card number 19. Lavender. Y'all recognize it's still another card, a whole different deck, but we have three women coming together, chilling, friends, community. So again, it's spirit pointing to the need to be in community of some sort. I also like that they're drinking coffee. Yes, they're drinking coffee. Okay, card number 19. What's the message? Lavender or lavender, as I say it. Why do I say it as lavender? Because it annoys the heck out of my best friend, and sometimes that's a joyful activity. So, lavender, surrender yourself to love. Oh, surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with people who make you feel like the best version of yourself, people you can trust with anything in the world. Maybe you've been distancing yourself from your found family, or maybe you haven't discovered your found family yet. Welcome to Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. We can be your found family. You need to make an effort here. Go out there and reconnect or make new connections. Or make new connections. That's the same thing as saying, or create a new world for you to experience these new things in. So that's the advice. It really didn't say anything specifically about lavender, but it had almost the exact same message that we got from the Three of Cups about finding community again. Lavender's there in the backdrop. I bet lavender as an essential oil or a plant, I bet it's related to community. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know these things. I'm just trying to figure out why is lavender on the card. Jacqueline, you got a date for me?
Yes, it's this coming Saturday. So the 20th of January.
Cool.
And it's at 1 p.m. your time, Central.
1 p.m. Central time. For some reason, I thought I had one more weekend. So this weekend, yay, y'all, go find the event. This weekend, we're still working on New Year's Eve. I don't call it resolutions because I stopped doing resolutions a long time ago, but setting intentions. I do like that phrase. Setting intentions. How do I want to create my 2024? To me, that's more powerful to me. So in the line of setting intentions, and since I'm reading Oracle cards, I thought I would mention we're doing a create your own Oracle card for 2024. The event is going to show you how to create your own Oracle card. You can go on and create a whole deck if you want, but we're going to focus on one card that's going to have your intentions infused into it for what you want to experience in 2024. So it's a good way to set your intentions. It's a good way to have a little creative project. It's a good way to learn more about Oracle cards. Hope you join us for that event. Let's keep going. What other decks do you all want to hear from? Do you have any special requests for those of y'all who know what kind of decks I have? I am going to pull from this. It's kind of like an affirmation cards, and they're just called Healing Angel cards. There's no book, it's just cards. I'm going to shuffle them and see what messages we have and see if there's any suggestions on decks you want me all to pull from. Oh yeah, Jacqueline already put it over there. Speaking of, okay, so I already talked about Oracle cards. Speaking of Tarot, if you would like to learn Tarot, learn how to do this for yourself or for others, my advanced Tarot, it's called advanced, but if you've been coming to these events and if you have any basic understanding of Tarot, you can take the advanced course. It starts February 3rd. However, today is the last day to use my coupon where you get $100 off. So today, if you use the coupon, it's going to be $97 to take an 11-week course with yours truly and truly learn everything you need to know about Tarot in a very fun, easy way. $97. Tomorrow, the price will go up to $197. If you're interested, please take advantage of it. If you really want that $97 price and for some reason your payday doesn't jive up with today, send me an email. But please try to get on there before the coupon expires if you can. All right. Determination is our angel card. Determination, perseverance, and patience will lead to a positive outcome. That's a message from the angels. I'm going to read this other card. Oh my goodness, they're all so good. They're all so good, and they're all so much in line with what we just read. So I'm going to read a couple more. The unknown, Do not fear the unknown. This is a time of deep exploration and transformation. Unfamiliar territory leads to new horizons. Doesn't that sound like the same message we just got from the Alice card? I love when I go to different decks and Spirit is like, nope, we got the same message. Doesn't matter which deck you go to, it's the same message today, Valorie. Do not fear the unknown. Unfamiliar territory leads to new horizons. That was the one right underneath determination. Right underneath the unknown is adventure. And I have to read this one because it reminds me of my best friend, Ari, who every time she sees this word, that's how she says it. Adventure. I bet this came up just because I said lavender and Spirit was like, stop annoying your best friend. And now I got a card for her energy. Adventure. Instead of seeing the current situation as an obstacle, try seeing it as an adventure. Ooh, I love this one. Same message we got earlier from the tarot cards. Explore all the possibilities. There are many more than you currently imagine. Instead of seeing things as either black or white, try to explore all the colors in between. That feels like the same message as nothing has meaning. You get to apply that meaning. Are you seeing it as an adventure or are you seeing it as an obstacle? The last one I'm going to read is surrender, because we had that message come out of one of our cards too. There's no point in pushing the barrel. There's no point in pushing the barrel up such a steep hill. Go back to the start. Surrender your expectations. Oh, I keep getting that message for myself and for groups. Surrender your expectations. It's your expectations that are holding you back. It's your expectations that are creating blocks. Expectations are different than goals. Surrender your expectations. It's not saying surrender your goals. There is an easier way. When the time is right, a new path will appear. I like that. I like how just one card after another, all of those messages kind of lined up. Okay. Moving away from that deck. Where else? We got a few more minutes. A few more minutes. I'm going to go to numerology. Not specifically to pull a card, but just to go to numerology and read number 8, because we're in an 8 year. And in this particular deck, let me show you the cover of it. This particular deck of numerology cards, 8 is manifestation. This card indicates a need to acknowledge the power of your mind and your ability to manifest your desires. You are being urged to familiarize yourself with the law of attraction and clarify your wants and needs, for you have entered a powerful cycle of divine manifestation. Let me read that again. Clarify your wants and needs, for you have entered a powerful cycle of divine manifestation. That means you're going to manifest. You're always manifesting. You're going to manifest more powerfully now, especially, I'm reading this because we are in an 8 year, 2024 is an 8 year. You have the ability, the powers, the energy supporting you to manifest more powerfully, possibly more powerfully than you ever have before. So now that you got this magic, powerful wand in your hand and you get to wave it, maybe you might want to sit down and figure out and get real clear on what your wants and desires are. Because if you're not clear, you're still going to manifest the shit out of some stuff, but you're probably not going to like it because you weren't clear about what you wanted and you weren't clear about what you needed. So get really clear about what you want and you need as you go into this 8 year, because manifesting power is available for all of us in a more internal sense of inner strength, inner power. And I'm finally learning how to use this. A lot of us manifest by external first forces. Nothing's wrong with that. We manifest by the groups we're in, by the paycheck that we receive. Nothing's wrong with that. But in an 8 year, we're turning within. We're finding our inner power, our inner magic, our inner strength. And we're saying, oh my God, that was in there all along? Man, that feels good. Let me figure out how to use it. Pew, pew. Ooh, I'm going to make some magic over there. Pew, pew. I'm going to make some. And as we start doing that, Spirit is like, hell yeah, it's an 8 year. All of y'all can manifest more powerfully. So better make sure you know where you're pew-pewing at. Where are you aiming that at? Be clear on what you want. Be clear on what you need. So that's an 8 from the numerology. I also want to see, is my book over here? I may not have my book. I also wanted to see an 8 from my angel numbers book, but I don't see it. Must not meant to be. I guess Spirit just wanted me to read it from that deck. All right. We got a few more minutes. Let's see. What else does Spirit want us to know? What other decks do you want us to pull from, Spirit? Super Attractor. Super Attractor is the purpley deck from Gabrielle Bernstein. There's no guidebook in this deck. It's a card deck of affirmations, so to speak. What do you want us to know, Spirit? Let me show you the card first because the artwork is pretty. I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. I choose to be a co-creator and have unwavering faith and trust that the universe is going to come in and help me co-create exactly what I want out of this life. Exactly the experiences I want. Exactly. Nothing in my life has been exactly, Valorie. I hear you. I had never created nothing exactly. I wonder what stories you've been telling yourself that have kept you from creating something exactly as you want it to be. I wonder, because nothing is impossible. So you can create things exactly as you want them to be. So the only question is, why haven't I done that yet? I'm about to do that this year. I hope that's what everybody said. I'm about to do that this year. I don't know why I haven't done it, but I'm about to. You sure are right. I sure can create anything I want. Okay, next up, I'm pulling from Rebel Deck, the Oracle with an Attitude. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to read it because that's what came up. You are being shady. Watch out. Shit could get ugly. If you feel like this message resonated with you, then no explanation necessary. You already know what it's talking about. But if you're like, what is that message? That has nothing to do with me. Oftentimes, these messages, I pull these messages when it has nothing to do with me being shady with someone else. It has to do with me being shady with myself. What truths am I not allowing myself to hear? What mistruths am I telling myself? What stories am I telling myself that are not supporting my path forward? That's being shady with your own self. Are you doing any of that? Maybe. 4 more minutes, y'all. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of at the end of this reading, but I also feel like Spirit still has a couple more things to say. Anybody feel like they didn't get a question answered? Must do, can do, will do, Craig. I'm reading that. What energies can support us on our path? What else do we need to know, Spirit? I pull from Keepers of the Light. Let's wrap it up with Sacred Self-Care. Sacred Self-Care Oracle. How can we take care of ourselves, nurture ourselves, be kind to ourselves as we go forward in this week, dealing with moving beyond our challenges, closing a chapter, stepping into our power, creating, not being afraid of the unknown. These are all messages we got today. Not being afraid of the unknown, being more like Alice, deciding that we created the rules. How can we do all of that and take care of ourselves in the meantime? Self-care. I've pulled this card so many times and I wonder how many people actually did it. I have only done it one time based on all of the times I've pulled it. So chanting, 8. It is an 8 card though. Isn't that interesting? Chanting as a self-care practice. The mantra is, my voice is heard. If you're new to chanting, you can start with learning to tone Om, O-M, and the sound for each chakra. At first, practice chanting on your own to gain a level of comfort. Yeah, when I did this one time, I told y'all one time I did this. I looked into pronouncing Om. I didn't go into how to pronounce all the chakras. If you can see here, I probably won't do it today, but there's an intonation, a chant that you can say for each one of the chakras. But I started with Om. When I looked into that, I went to YouTube, y'all. Went to YouTube and I found videos for how to pronounce Om. And one of these persons, spiritual teachers, I think it was like a yogi or something. There's more than one syllable to the word, so it's not just Om. When you pronounce it in a chanting kind of way, I can't describe it perfectly, but it was like, oh, like there's more to it. It's almost like, look at Jacqueline. Jacqueline knows what I'm talking about. Jacqueline is a voice instructor. So there's more to the intuition than just saying it like a word. And when you say that a couple of times, oh my God, it doesn't take long before you get into a calmer state. Like your body calms down. I believe my body calms down based on the frequency that I'm vibrating. Your body calms down. You have to take deeper breaths in order to do chanting. So that's another reason why your body calms down. It's just very pleasing. It's kind of like her, all zenned out. But also, if you continue with it, even beyond the relaxation, you get to this meditative state. Because meditation, oftentimes, the easiest way to get there is through repetition, hearing or repeating a bass note or a repeating sound or repeating your own voice over and over again in a methodical way is what I don't know what I'm trying to say, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I encourage you take me up on this. I'm probably going to take myself up on this and finally listen since I've pulled this card so many times. But start with the Om chant. If you feel more called to start with one of the chakras, maybe you're already doing chakra work, then look up the chant for that particular chakra and chant that over and over again. Here's what else it has to say, and then we'll wrap up because I realized I talked a little bit too much trying to fill up these last couple of minutes. Experiment with different tones, noticing which ones come easily or feel challenging. Free yourself from worrying about how you sound. Allow your unique voice to resonate and express itself. When you're ready to go deeper and experience the sensation of chanting in a group, look for local singing, chanting, or kirtan events, Kirtan, if you're Googling that. Most yoga studios will include chanting as part of the practice, typically at the beginning or the end of a class. You can also pioneer the effort within your community and gather some loved ones who are willing to chant with you. This activity is especially fun to try in an enclosed space that has a loud echo or outside surrounded by beautiful nature. Oh, it was hard for me to get through that sentence. The journaling prompt, what blocks, real or imagined, prevent you from chanting? And what practical steps can you take to eliminate those blocks? I'm going to go back real quick to when it says experiment with the different tones and notice which ones feel easy or which ones feel challenging. Yeah, if you're going through these tones, especially the ones that have to do with chakras, know that if you hit one that you just cannot get your lips and your mouth and your voice to pronounce it, that's probably the chakra you need to work on. That's probably the one you need to work on opening up. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for hanging with me a couple of minutes past the end of the time. Thank you all so much for being here, for lending your energies, for allowing yourself to open up to receive the messages. As you allow yourself to open up, Spirit flows those messages through me, and I feel so very blessed to be able to deliver those messages. And I wouldn't have anything to deliver them to if you all didn't keep coming back. So thank you all so much for this, for your energy, for your support of this group. And I hope I see you back on Wednesday for meditation and for Saturday for the Oracle card. And if I don't see you on either of those dates, I hope I see you back next Monday. Have a great week. Remember, this week is about manifesting and creating your life. Bye, everyone.